I may have expressed some mild aversion to clue 4. To be honest, I really don't enjoy recording intros. I mean, I love saying hello to you guys and welcoming you to this channel. Welcome, hello, if you're new here. But yeah, I don't know what it is about intros. So much has to go into recording an intro, like what I'm gonna talk about, what's been up in my life, all this information that I have to get up front. And honestly, it throws me for a loop. I don't know if you can tell, but slowly but surely, I've just been diving right into the meat of the episode. So I hope you guys were cool with that. But that said, this is a knitting channel. I'm Kristen. If you're new here, welcome. I'm very happy to be sitting down, chatting with you this week. I've got lots to catch you up on, so gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into things. Mystery knit along. Let's talk clue 4 of Stephen West's Shawlography Mkal, clue number 4. Oh my goodness, there were so many opinions about clue 4. If you tuned in last week, I talked about how I'm still behind on completing the Mkal, and you know, I could not resist, twist my arm. I spoiled clue 4 for myself. I wanted to see what this thing was finally going to look like. And yeah, I may have expressed some mild aversion to clue 4. You know, not that it's, you know, Stephen West, don't get me wrong. I love Stephen West. I think he is an incredible designer, so creative and innovative, and just creates the most enjoyable patterns to knit. But I will say that clue 4 was just not jiving with me. He incorporated all these beautiful, intricate motifs from clue 1 through 3, and then he completes it with this bold, stripy pattern, and I just feel like it was just too bold and taking away from all the intricate details of the previous clues. And, you know, I did see other FOs out there where, you know, depending on the color palettes they picked, I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. But when it came to my colorway combinations and my sense of style, I really wasn't feeling it. And many of you expressed similar feelings. Those of you who felt the same way about clue 4 have opted to swap out the motif for something else. And, you know, I mean, I was thinking about the same thing, but it was so inspiring and cool to see what other people were swapping out clue 4 with. Some are, you know, just taking matters into their own hands, designing their own motifs, or mixing and matching from other Stephen West patterns. It's just so cool. Stephen West does say that, you know, right after clue 3, after you're done with the crisscross section, you can just bind off and call it a day, because at this point the shawl itself is quite large. It is shawl size, but if you know Stephen West patterns, he loves to design shawls of schlanket proportions. Let's put it that way. So, you know, not all hope is lost. But at the same time, while I know I could bind off right now, I would like a schlanket. I'm not gonna lie. I want to be part of the schlanket club. So let me show you my shawl in the state it's in, because I feel like I've been waffling on for much too long. I'm not gonna put a time code for spoilers just because the FO has been revealed already. It's not a mystery no longer. So I'm just gonna show it here. And I'm still mid-row, but I am at the crisscross section, as you can see down here. I finished brioching, and now we're doing crisscrosses. So, and finally, my Labiana May colorway gets to stand out a little bit in this pattern, and I'm so happy about that. But yeah, as you can see here, the crisscrosses are taking shape. This is actually the first time that I'm making these crisscross X stitches, and it's really genius, guys. You know, again, mind is blown with like all the things that Stephen West is, you know, incorporating into this pattern. So, you know, while, you know, it might not be 100% my style, I'm learning so much, and it's just been like, a massage for my creative brain. It's wonderful. But I'm not gonna lie, this stitch is a little fiddly to execute. I think it's because of the needles that I'm using, because you're like wrapping stitches around the needle and then knitting them, and it's a little difficult to shuffle the stitches all the way up to the tip of the needle, because the wraps around the needle get a little tight, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I'm managing. I probably should have switched to wooden needles just to help the glide a little bit. But anyway, it's not a deal breaker for me. So as I mentioned, I am going to be swapping out clue 4 for a different motif. And I've been doing a lot of digging on Ravelry, and again, many of you have sent suggestions my way. And while I was contemplating adding another brioche border to the end of it, as I mentioned, my Nancy Merchant brioche pattern is actually in storage. So I don't know when the next time I'm going to be getting my mitts on that. Probably not for several months until after our move. But I did do a little scrolling, and I think I'm going to go with the border that I knit on Stephen West's Smock shawl. I mean, that was an absolutely beautiful border. It was so fun to knit. It's a simple rib stitch where halfway through you smock the stitches. You wrap your yarn around to create kind of like a, to suck the ribs in, if that makes any sense. And it's really, really beautiful. And to make it extra cool, he has you fade the colors together. So I think that'll be a really nice effect. So that's my game plan. And a lot of you also shared versions where instead of just doing bold stripes, other people kind of faded the colors together, which is another really cool effect. But I don't know. I don't like the diagonal stripes. It's not my style. So I feel like the Smock shawl border I feel like it's really going to complement all the motifs in this pattern, because if you think about it, when I look at this pattern, it's just very Art Deco, which is incredibly in my wheelhouse. It's just, I love Art Deco, I love Art Nouveau. It definitely speaks to that style. So I think, yeah, that is the game plan. The rate at which I'm knitting this, I'm guessing that I'm probably not going to have this done for at least another 2 weeks, just with everything going on. But, slow but steady progress. So yeah, that is where I am with my Shawlography shawl. Finishing off clue 3 and going off on my own tangent with clue 4. But not entirely. It is still Stephen West because I'm harvesting a design element from a previous pattern of his. So it's still Stephen West, but mixing things up a little bit. Anyway, while I was thinking about what I wanted to replace clue 4 with, I did manage to put a dent finally in my Koru pullover, a pattern by Johanna. I've joined it in the round. It's no longer in toilet seat cozy form. And now I'm just knitting and knitting and knitting in the round, pure stockinette. This has just been my mindless autopilot knit, and I am not complaining. I have a feeling once I'm done with the Shawlography shawl, this is just going to fly off my needles because, yeah, again, just plain stockinette in the round autopilot. I think setting it up was the most fiddly part just because you're starting with the back, shaping the shoulders and joining the shoulders with a provisional cast on. As you can see here, this is where my provisional cast on was at the shoulder. I need to take that out. I left the provisional cast on chain just to show you, what it looks like after you join everything, just in case you're new to provisional cast ons and joining things like such. But yes, at this point I can probably take it out, and this is what it looks like on the other side. So you can see it's very seamless. For some reason, this feels like it looks very small, but I know once I add a ribbed collar to it and add the sleeves, it's going to stretch out and fit me just nicely. So Koru pullover, really enjoyable, really relaxing knit. Exactly what my soul needs after knitting the Shawlography. I'm noticing a pattern here. After I'm done knitting something very intricate and involved, I immediately need to cast on something that's somewhat autopilot and intuitive, something that doesn't require much brain power. So it's very give and take. So I no doubt as soon as I'm done with this sweater, pullover, jumper, I'm going to jump into something incredibly involved and intricate and lacy maybe. I don't know. I could use a little more lace in my life now that I think of it. Anyway, I digress. But yes, Koru pullover. I'm knitting this out of Shibui Knits in their pebble base. And yeah, it's just such a light and airy yarn. In other news, my Sewjo came back. Kind of, sort of, not really, but if you've been tuning into this channel, you know that I kind of fell off the sewing bandwagon. There was a period where every single weekend or every free weekend, I would just sew my heart out and just create garment after garment after garment. But I realized after a while that, while I was all about the process, I mean, it's so gratifying, the whole process of sewing a garment, finishing it, and wearing it. But the more I did it, the more I realized how... It might not be the creative outlet for me, just because at the end of the day, it stressed me out. I was just getting so frustrated, so stressed out, and I honestly just wanted my weekends back. I admire anybody that can sew a garment and it fits like a glove, but for me, a struggle point is getting garments to fit properly. And I know it needs practice. I know I need to take time and, apply myself and learn how to alter a pattern so that it fits my person, so it fits me like a glove. Like a glove? And I just felt like it was a constant struggle between finding time to knit and sew and do all the things. And yeah, I really wanted my weekends back. I wanted my sanity back. And I felt like all the work that I was putting into my sewing and not getting the exact results that I wanted, it just really wasn't worth it for me. Maybe somewhere down the line, if I really wanted to, really get into sewing again, I'll take a class and apply myself and learn how to fit things properly. But right now, it's not a priority for me, and I'm okay with that. So I was completely fine, if not relieved, to just let sewing fall to the wayside, take a break from it. Up until recently, I want to say it's been like a good year and a half since I actually sewed something legit. I mean, I have been sewing the occasional project bag here and there, but as far as garments, this past weekend was the first time that I actually felt like sewing an actual garment. And there's a dress that I have that I bought from Target, and I wear the living daylights out of this dress, and I haven't been able to find anything like it. It's just a simple casual drop waist dress with little flounce at the bottom, and it's just the perfect design for just chucking over a pair of leggings and getting on with my day. And I did find a pattern on, where was it? On McCall's. I think it's, let me see, here it is. McCall's M8214. It's not exact, but it is a dead ringer for the overall look that I'm going for. So, because I'm all about instant gratification, I purchased and downloaded the PDF, printed it out, spent time taping everything together and cutting out each piece. And as I was doing this, I'm like, now I remember why I took a break from all this. It's a lot of physical work, guys. And when all was said and done, I actually took some fabric from my stash. This is the fabric in question. Kind of like in a rumpled ball, but I'll hold it up to the camera. It's this beautiful challis fabric by Art Gallery Fabrics. It has a really cute ditzy floral print with some star confetti on it. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but yeah, I was excited. So I ironed this out and pinned all of the pattern pieces to the fabric. I was ready to cut, and I just stepped away from it, and I'm just like, I am so not feeling this right now. Plus my husband was home, and we're still doing things around the house when it comes to moving and all that stuff. So there were quite a few distractions. I don't know about you guys, but when I sew, I'm not one of those people that can just sew in increments. I'm just one of those people that likes to get all my sewing done in one fell swoop, clear my schedule, no distractions, just rip it off like a Band-Aid. And that it just wasn't happening. So, I just decided, what, I'm just not going to do it today. Not today. I folded everything up, put it away for another rainy day, and, maybe I'll come back to it. I don't know. Because yeah, the pattern is all cut out. It's ready to go. Maybe I'll take a day off next week or something and get it done. But yeah, I really wasn't feeling it. Like all those feelings of stress, frustration just came flooding back in, and I was like, this is why I took a break. Anyway, but yeah, it's a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, I did get frustrated with myself because I was feeling stressed out over it. And this shouldn't be stressful, but pick your battles. Honestly, right now I realize I'd rather spend my energy knitting. So here we are. That is the status of my Sewjo. A little bittersweet, but what you gonna do? So anyway, that I believe is all the creative content that I have to share with you this week, my friends. Thank you so much as always for hanging out with me. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do. I would love to have you along for the ride. I put out videos for your viewing pleasure every week. Hopefully next week I'll be back to my normal recording schedule with 2 videos. That's 4. Two videos per week. Yeah, just life has just been up in the air these days. So trying to do the best that I can. But, as always, I love hanging out with you guys. So thank you for being here. And until the next video, have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.